Hey everyone, it's Alex from Alf's Mustang Garage again. Just picking up where we left off after installing this new timing chain and gear set on this 66 Mustang 289. Next step we're going to be doing is installing the timing cover, new gaskets, and water pump new gaskets. So first thing, just kind of jump right into it. I've already done all the prep work as far as the engine block goes and as far as the timing cover goes. So it's very crucial that these are all nice and cleaned, gasket scraped and everything. I like to go and repaint everything as well, make it look nice. These things do get rather greasy over the years. So another thing to kind of take note of is new front crankshaft seal, and how these are installed on these 60s 289s. Sometimes it's kind of hard to find stuff online as far as how they go if you're not paying attention to when you took it out. This is how they go, they install. You'll notice a garter spring that's inside of here. That's going to go facing towards the engine block. So when you install that, it goes in like that. So, and then the lip is facing this way. So, first things first, we're going to get our new gasket on here, like so. I like to use the ultra black silicone from Permatex, or the right stuff is also really good. And so, the way I like to do these is just goop a little on here. Now, I don't like to use a whole ton of this stuff, so I'll kind of show you my technique of how I go about resealing. But I don't like seeing when the silicone is all oozed out from the sides. I think it looks a little sloppy, and you don't need a whole lot of silicone. If you have a really good surface on your block and your timing cover, you shouldn't need a whole lot of silicone. The gasket is meant to seal. The silicone is meant to seal any imperfections in your cover or block. So you don't need to goop this stuff on like I hear some people say, oh, you can never use too much silicone, and well, yeah, you can. I mean, it gets everywhere and it looks sloppy, and so so we're just gonna coat it around like this. And I get both sides, and I use gloves, and when I'm done here, I'll swap out my gloves, and I still got clean hands, but I get both sides of this sucker. And that way it has a nice coating of it, and it's not going to be pushed out of the sides when you tighten your cover down. It's not going to do that. Just before I slap this thing on here, I'm just going to put a little bit of oil on my timing chain, just so we don't have a dry start here. Just kind of put some oil on there. I don't like dry starts. There we go. Well, I know I can manually prime the oil pump, but that manually prime the oil pump doesn't really sling oil up into your timing gears and whatnot. So that's what that's for. Doesn't hurt to put a little bit of oil on your front timing seal either, so when you slide that on, it doesn't damage anything. Okay, so we got our gasket on the cover. We're going to put a couple of bolts through it, kind of hold it in place. All we're doing is getting a couple threads started. That's all we're doing. kind of pay attention and make sure the gaskets are lined up down here. You don't want anything to be off. And they can get off. They're just flimsy. They're just flimsy little gaskets. They're not. They don't have a lot of structure to them. Like this one on this side, I had to push it back up into place. Another thing I like to do before I do this process is I like to mock up my timing cover and my water pump beforehand, and really I kind of know where all the bolts are gonna go, so I'm not sitting here with a wet silicone gasket trying to figure out where the bolts go. I should know exactly where all the bolts go beforehand, and so I get everything oriented out. I know where everything goes, and then I'm just ready to rock and roll. Okay, perfect. So those are the bolts that are just for the timing cover. There are more bolts, but they also hold on the water pump. So now we need to move on to the water pump. Now we're putting our water pump on. I had to run out and grab a gasket because the two I had were not correct. So these water pumps, they have a plate that goes on the back side, and there's a gasket between the plate and the pump, and then a gasket between the plate and the timing cover, and they are different gaskets. So the two I had were not correct. The one I had, one of them was correct, but the other one was not. So now we have our plate. There are two bolts that bolted on to the pump from the back side. There was a gasket siliconed on there already. And you can see those two bolts on the bottom, and you have the recesses here in the cover for those bolts. So once you're set up on there and ready to go, this thing should just bolt right on. Now these two bolts right here have a bracket for the alternator that go on, and so I like to put that bracket on now because I don't like taking these bolts out once everything has dried and sealed together. Just go around and start tightening everything one at a time, and just little by little. I don't crank anything down tremendously. I just kind of go around and snug everything up. I do like to do a majority of this stuff by hand. I can feel it better than an impact or a pneumatic tool. I like to be able to feel the threads go in. Sometimes this old stuff, especially if you're using original bolts, you know, they can stretch. You can break off bolts. It's very easy to do. And if you're paying attention, you can feel it. You can avoid those types of things.